Hello guys, today we are gonna talk about top 10 superhero series on Netflix. Video is gonna be really interesting, so stay tuned till the end. Before we proceed, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you do not miss videos like this. Let's start with the popular series Arrow. This series came out in the year 2012 and it has a total of 8 seasons. This series is based on the DC comics on a character named as the Arrow. This series is about a multi-millionaire playboy named as Oliver Queen who takes up a vigilante persona of a character named as Arrow to fight crime and corruption in the city. After mastering the skill of archery on a deserted island, he takes up this role. This series has a lot of DC superhero crossovers and it is a must watch for a DC superhero fan. This series has a rating of 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb. Next we are gonna talk about 2020 series Ragnarok. This series has a total of 2 seasons and it is a teen fantasy drama series. This series is set up in a small fictional town whose weather changes completely and violently. The main reason for this sudden change of weather is the industries present over there who pollute the atmosphere, and the owner who runs the place is the billionaire of that town who is the richest man present over there. Our series main character Magne has some superpowers using which he tries to take revenge against those who try to pollute the environment and are the main reasons for this weather change. After finding about the superpowers of Magne, you are bound to find a lot of similarities between Thor and Magne. So what are those and how does his life evolve? You need to watch this series to find out. This series has a rating of 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb. Next we are going to talk about 2015's action drama series Jessica Jones. This series has a total of 3 seasons and it is based on Marvel Comics.
What do you want to know?
Can you punch through a wall? Stop a moving car?
Something happens in Jessica's life due to which her superhero career is finished. Because of that, she settles in New York and opens her own detective agency. After Jessica meets an intelligent psychopath, he advises her to make her relationship better with Trish so that she could take him down. So what happens to her next? You need to watch this series to find out, as it has a lot of challenges and thrills and excitement with it. This series has a rating of 7.9 out of 10 on IMDb. This series is not suited for kids as it is based on a graphic novel which is best suited for adults. Next we are going to talk about 2017's action fantasy series Iron Fist. This series has a total of 2 seasons. This series is about a guy named Danny who loses both of his parents during his childhood. Both of them die in a plane crash and Danny is still hurt by that. At that time, Danny is just a 10-year-old boy and his life is saved by monks. From that day till present time, he spends his life by just learning martial arts. When Danny returns to New York to take over his parents' company, he gets to know that it is run by their business partners. So at this time, his life is turned upside down as he has to face a lot of challenges. So what happens to him next? You need to watch the series to find out.
A change is coming, Danny.
Become what you were meant to be.
This series has a rating of 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb. Next we are going to talk about 2021's series Jupiter's Legacy. This series has a total of 1 season and it is a superhero fantasy drama series. This series is about superpowered children of superheroes who struggle to live up to the legendary feats of their parents.
I'm doing everything I can to keep this family from falling apart.
So what happens to them next? You need to watch this series to find out. This series has a rating of 6.9 out of 10 on IMDb. If you are a sci-fi series fan, then make sure you check out the video in the I button and in the description of top 10 sci-fi series on Netflix. Next we are going to talk about an action drama series named as Titans. This series has a total of 3 seasons and it is based on DC Comics characters Titans. One difference from the widely popular Teen Titans show is that this series is set up on a dark tone for which DC Universe is known for. This series is about Dick Grayson, whose alternate persona is a vigilante named as Robin, and it is shown how his life is turned out after leaving Batman.
Nothing bad's gonna happen to you, don't worry.
Taking care of a kid is complicated. You know that better than anyone.
Dick Grayson forms a team of superheroes to fight crime and supervillains in the city. Also, he develops a very good bond with a kid named as Rachel. So who is Rachel and what does she exactly mean to him? You need to watch this series to find out. This series has a rating of 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb. Next we are going to talk about 2016 series Luke Cage. This series has a total of 2 seasons and it is based on a character named as Luke Cage by Marvel Comics. This series is about a guy named Luke Cage who undergoes an experiment that accidentally gives him superpowers and makes his skin unbreakable. At the beginning of this series, it is shown that Luke's relationship with Jessica Jones is not that good, and he leaves his superhero life behind and travels to New York to live a quiet and a peaceful life. After seeing the amount of crime in the city, he starts to fight against criminals and tries to take revenge. Things take an unexpected turn when he starts fighting corruption.
I don't like your tone.
So what happens to him next? You need to watch this series to find out. This series has a lot of terrific action sequences which blows our mind. This series has a rating of 7.3 out of 10 on IMDb. Next we are going to talk about an action drama series named as Gotham. This series has a total of 5 seasons.
The star of the show! You don't have to do this! This is all for you, Bruce.
When Thomas and Martha Wayne are murdered, James Gordon is the detective who takes up their case to solve it. And Gotham is a city where a lot of crimes takes. Most of you would have already guessed this series is about our most beloved character Batman. In this series we get to know each and every event that happens in Gotham City and in Batman's life, which most of you might not be aware of, as we do not get to see that in the movies. Hence this series is a must watch if you are a Batman fan. This series has a rating of 7.8 out of 10 on IMDb. If you haven't already liked the video, then make sure you hit the thumbs up so that it motivates me to make more videos like this. Next we are going to talk about an action fiction series known as The Punisher. This series has a total of 2 seasons and it is based on Marvel Comics. This series is about a man named Frank Castle who tries to take revenge against ruthless criminals who are responsible for the death of his family members.
I'm the one who does the killing.
He soon starts a war against New York's criminals. So what happens to him next? You need to watch this series to find out. This series has a rating of 8.5 out of 10 on IMDb. Next we are going to talk about a superhero action fiction series named as Daredevil. It has a total of 3 seasons and it is based on the widely popular Marvel character known as Daredevil. This series is about a blind lawyer named as Matt Murdock who is blind from his childhood.
You're blind, but you see so much.
I hear things.
You know what they call stuff like that? Gifts. I'm gonna train you. Use it.
Matt Murdock takes up an alternate persona of a character named as Daredevil who has a lot of super abilities to fight crimes and villains in the city. So what happens to him next? You need to watch the series to find out. This series has a rating of 8.6 out of 10 on IMDb. If you want to know about the top 10 series and movie recommendations on Netflix, then make sure you subscribe to our channel so you do not miss videos like this.